Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamunatira Banachari. Jamunatira Banachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamunatira Banachari. Jamunatira Banachari. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nishinhade Bhagavan ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading Nectar of Devotion. Evidence regarding devotional principles. Not accepting unfit disciples, contracting many temples, or reading many books. The one point is that without increasing the number of disciples, there is no propagation of the cult of Krishna consciousness. There is no propagation of the cult of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, sometimes even at risk, a sannyasi in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may accept even a person who is not totally fit to become a disciple. Later on, by the mercy of such a bona fide spiritual master, the disciple is gradually elevated. However, if one increases the number of disciples simply for some prestige or false honor, he will surely fall down in the matter of executing Krishna consciousness. Nectar of Devotion ki jai. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, I think, chapter 10, chapter 18, chapter 9, text 18. isn't it? Saha aham priyasya surida paradevataya lilakata tava nishimha virinchagita anja titarmi anugrinam guna vipramukta durgani te padayukaya hamsa sangha soham priyasya suridam paradevataya soham priyasya suridam paradevataya lila katastava nishinha virincha gita lila katastava nishinha virincha gita anchastitarmyanukrinam gunavi pramukto anchastitarmyanugriham gunavi pramukto durga nitita payugalyaham sasanga durga nitpada yugalyaham sasanga soham priyasya suridam paradevataya lila katastava nishinha virincha gita anchastitarmyanuhrinam guna vipramukto durga nite padayugalaya hamsa sangha Vaishnavas.
Soham priyasya surida paradevataya Soham priyasya surida paradevataya Nila katastava narsimha virinchagita Lila katastava narsimha virinchagita Anjastitarmiyanvinam gunavipramukto
Pramukto Durga nite padayugalaya hamsa sangha
Soham priyasa surida paradevataya Soham priyasa
idam paradevataya
lila katastava narsimha virinchagita
lila katastava nishinha virincha gita anchastitarmyanugritam guna vipramukto Gante padayugalaya hamsa sangha Soham priyasya surita paradevataya Saha, that I, Prahlad Maharaj, Priyasya of the dearmost Surida, well-wisher, para Devataya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lila Kata, narrations of the pastimes, Taba, your Nishimha, oh my Lord Nishinhadev, Virinchagita, given by Lord Brahma by the disciplic succession, Anja, easily, Titarmi, I shall cross, Anugrinam, constantly describing, Guna, by the mode of material nature, Vipramukta, specifically, being uncontaminated, Durgani, all miserable conditions of life, Te, of you, Pada Yugalaya, fully absorbed in meditating on the lotus feet, Anga Sangha Hamsa, having the association of the Hamsas, or liberated persons who have no connection with material activities. O my Lord Nishinhade, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in association of the devotees who are liberated soul, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma in his disciple succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nations. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A devotee's life and duty are very well explained herein. As soon as a devotee can chant the holy name and glories of the Supreme Lord, he certainly comes to the liberated position. Attachment for glorification the Lord by hearing and chanting the holy name and activities of the Lord, Shravan and Kirtan and Vishnu, certainly brings one to the position where material contamination is absent. One should chant the bona fide songs received from the disciple succession. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the chanting is powerful when one follows the disciple succession. Evam param param praktar imam rajaj sayo vidu. Manufacturing many ways of chanting will never be effective. However, chanting the song of the narration left by the previous acharyas, Mahachano Yena Gata Sapanta, is extremely effective. And this process is very easy. Therefore, in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj uses the word anja, easily. Accepting the thoughts of the exalted authorities through disciple succession is certainly much easier than the method of mental speculation by which one tries to invent some means to understand the absolute truth. The best process is to accept the instructions of the previous acharyas and follow them. Then God realization and self-realization become extremely easy. By following this easy method, one is liberated from the contamination of the material nature by the modes of nature, and thus one can certainly cross the ocean of nescience, in which there are many miserable conditions. By following the footsteps of the great acharyas, one associates with the Hamsas or Paramahamsas, those who are completely free from material contamination. Indeed, by following the instruction of the Acharya, one is always free from all material contamination, and thus one's life becomes successful, for one reaches the goal of life. This material world is miserable regardless of one's standards of life. Of this there is no doubt. Attempts to mitigate the miseries of material existence by material methods will never be successful. One must take Krishna consciousness to become really happy. Otherwise, happiness is impossible. One might say that becoming advanced in spiritual life is also involves tapasya, voluntary acceptance of some inconvenience. However, some inconvenience is not dangerous as material attempts to mitigate all miseries. Soham priyasya surita parate bataya lila katastava nishinkha virincha gita anchastitarmya nugrinam guna vipramukto durganite pada jugalyaham sasanga. Translation again. Oh, my Lord Nishingadev, by engaging in transcendental loving service in association of devotees who are liberated souls, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciple succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanganashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These are very nice verses describing the situation of the living entity in the material world. And in the previous verse, it is described how any attempt of the living entity to become happy in this material world normally result in the opposite result. Like everyone wants to be happy in the material world, and we do different things to become happy. But normally that endeavor in the end bring us misery. And there are so many examples we can give in this regard of how things people do to become happy, and in the end, like in the material world, we see people, one of the ways trying to be happy is by intoxication. You say, okay, I have problems, especially when the relationship break down, the people turn to alcohol, thinking, or drugs, thinking that, okay, I will forget my problems, I will again regain my happiness. But these kind of things always backfire in us, and we see that we become more miserable, we get sick, and actually bring us to so many other problems. And in the scriptures also, there are so many examples of this attempt for becoming happy in this material world. And one of these examples, of course, you can think of some others, if you remember, but the case of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj was performing Asmaveda Yagyas, and when he reached 99, they say when you reach 100 Asvameda Yagyas, you become like Indra. So he reached the 99, and he was preparing for the 100 sacrifice. But then Lord Indra became envious. He thought, okay, if Prithu Maharaj perform one more sacrifice, then he will take my post, and I don't want that. So he disguised himself as a sannyasi, and he mixed into the people of the yagya, and he stole the horse that was meant for the sacrifice. And after that, the son of Prithu Maharaj was chasing Lord Indra, and then the whole drama unfolded. But in the end, we see that Lord Indra was facing more problems being chased for stealing the horse that he was before. Not only that, because he disguised himself as a sannyasi and he stole items from the sacrifices, he was given a bad example for generations to follow. In fact, it is mentioned in the scripture that degradation started then when Lord Indra stole the horse, and he disguised himself as a sannyasi even though he was not a sannyasi. So cheating started then. And of course, nowadays in the age of Kali, there is so much cheating going on. And Prabhupada many times explained that even people, they disguise themselves as sannyasis just to earn their livelihood. I have seen that in Haridwar. I saw a guy who was dressing as a sannyasi, and I saw them after I was going on a rickshaw. I saw he went to his house, and he had a wife and he had kids. I said, what's going on? He was dressed as a sannyasi, begging on the street, and then he had a family. So when he get home, he changed, he dressed in white. And so this is one of the effects of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada said the cheater and the cheated. And there are some other examples in the scripture. Another famous one is about Daksha and Lord Shiva. Because Daksha, who was a very powerful personality, he's one of the sons of Brahma. He was given a lecture. He came to the actually, he was about to also perform a sacrifice. And when Lord Shiva came in, he didn't pay obeisances to Daksha because Shiva is superior to Daksha. There was no need, there was no etiquette need for that. But because of this, Daksha became very angry. He became raging, as they say here, and he cursed, and he was counter-cursed by the followers of Lord Shiva. And in the end, Daksha lost his head and was replaced by the goat head. So we see how many times these things happen when we're trying to do something, but actually the medicine is worse than the disease, as Prabhupada said in the previous verses, that medicine is worse than the disease itself. And another case, very famous in the scriptures, is about Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj had many wives. I don't know how many hundreds of wives, but no one could give them a son. He wanted a son, and they didn't get pregnant. And he was very frustrated. So one time, Angira Muni was visiting Chitraketu Maharaj, and seeing king, so disappointed, he asked him for what he wanted. He offered a boon. Like he said, I only want a son. This is the only thing I want. And Angira Muni said, I can give you a son, but if I give you a son, this son will give you happiness, but will be the source of your misery as well. I don't care, just give me the son. So the son was born of Chitraketu Maharaj, but the other wives, they became envious or whatever, and they poisoned the kid, and the kid died. So the situation of Chitraketu Maharaj was worse after the son was killed than it was before he had the son. So this is, do you can think of any other example of the scriptures that this happened? If you know any, you can. There are so many actually, but we see that this is a natural reaction of looking for happiness in the wrong place. Happiness is there, but the materialistic person cannot find this happening because he's looking in the wrong place. He's looking in the happiness through the modes of material nature, thinking that if I pursue this pleasure, I will be happy. If I get that thing, I will be happy. And here, Prahlada Maharaj is saying, I want to be free from these three modes of material nature because I know there is no happiness there. These three gunas are considered thieves. And there is a very nice story that one time this person was traveling in the forest, and one thief came and he wanted to take all his possessions. So he tied him up, and the second thief came and they tied him up, and they say, okay, we will take everything from him. But then the third thief came and he said, no, that's not good. Poor guy, just set him free. And then they set him free, and the third thief, he went and showed, look, this is the way, this is the city, this is the place you need to go. And they said that the first thief who actually wanted to kill the person in order to rob him, this is like tamaguna. We see that activities in tamaguna, they are described as killing the soul, because they cover the soul so much that there is no glimpse of this soul anymore. You see, when a person is in tamaguna, we see people lying under the street drunk in tamaguna. There is nothing that connect this person with Krishna. There is nothing. And the second thief, this is the one who tied him up with the ropes, this is the Rajagunas, the mode of passion that tied up us with so many material desires and keep us tied to this energy. And the third one, this is mode of goodness, who free us from Rajas and from Tamaguna, and even can show us the way. But he cannot go to the city, he cannot go to that place because he's also a thief and he will be caught. So this is the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj. He said, I don't want to be moved, I don't want to be part of these three modes of material nature because this also will bring me suffering. And there are so many interesting points here that the things that devotee really want is to follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas, because they already trace the path, they already made the path, and we just need to follow. Prabhupada is talking here about speculation. Sometimes we start to speculate, like when people come to Krishna consciousness and they see that devotees sometimes emphasize or overemphasize association with devotees. And they said, I don't need association of devotees. I can go home and do my life. I can practice my spiritual life. And we have seen here, like many times when people come, especially volunteers, they come, practice Krishna consciousness, and then they go home and they forget Krishna again. Because without association with devotees, it's very difficult to practice a spiritual life. And this is what keep us encouraged and keep us focused in Krishna, to be with devotees who have the same mentality and the same goal. And here the devotees are described as Hamsa. Does anyone know why devotees are described as Hamsa? Natalie, do you know why? No? Hamsa is a swan. And Prabhupada said that swan, they have a special quality. What is the quality, Kartikeya, of a swan? Yeah, they have a special, did you know that the swan can separate milk from water? They have this mystic power. You know, so many animals, they have different mystic powers, we can say. They can do things completely amazing. Of course, we never seen that. I never seen that personally. But they say if you give a swan, you give milk mixed with water, he will separate the water and just drink the milk. And there is another characteristic of the swan. What is another characteristic of the swan? What the swans like? Swans, they like only clean places. You never see a swan in a dirty lake or the dirty place. They always like clean places in the mode of goodness. And opposite to that is a crow. You see, the crow is just the opposite. The crow, they like dirty places. You see, where there is big piles of dirt, you will see crows there. Because crows don't like mode of goodness. They like dirty places and they search for food in the dirty places. A swan will never do that, will never search for food in a dirty place. So devotees are compared to Hamsa or Paramahamsa, supreme Hamsas, that they are not interested in dirty places, they are not interested in, and they can separate the essence of everything, the essence of the scriptures. Prabhupada said in this, that, no, we are reading in Nectar of Devotion just now, that we should not read many books. And somebody may wonder why we cannot read books. There are hundreds of millions of devotional books. Why we should not be reading so many books? And the answer to that is that if one is in the neophyte state, one may get confused by reading many books, because there are so many conclusions, and we may not be able to discriminate what is what. And even Prabhupada said in the beginning that if you have read Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, that's it. We don't need any more books. Even the Goswamis, they wrote so many books, but some of these books are not even for Kali Yuga. I have been to this place in Vrindavan. I forgot what's the name. Maybe any of you remember. There is like a samadhi, and there is around the samadhi soul chained up with big chains. Have you seen this place in Vrindavan? No? And there is one Maharaj there. Whenever I go to Vrindavan, I go to this Maharaj. Maharaj take us to places where normally devotees don't visit, but they are very special places. So one time he took us to this place, and there are all these books from the Goswamis, and they are chained up. No one can, it's locked. Nobody can read these books because they are so intimate. They are past them so intimate of Radha Krishna that people are unqualified to read these books in Kali Yuga. So they are not allowed, no one is allowed to read these books. And that's why Prabhupada emphasized here about discipline succession, about the parampara. And they say that even a mantra that you receive, which is not through the parampara, has no effect. Like we see many times that there are so many like yoga groups and bogus yogis and spiritual, so-called spiritual master, that they even, Prabhupada said, they even charge to give you a mantra. You pay so much dollars and they give you powerful. The more you pay, the more powerful is the mantra they give you. But this is bogus. This is not bona fide. This is not part of the parampara. And as such, those mantras don't have potency. They are meant to delude the people, the innocent public. I was just reading yesterday this wonderful book. You know it. I just got it yesterday, so I started reading it before going to sleep. At one point I had to switch off because I had to come for Mangalarti. But there is one section, and it's called Mantras not received through the disciple succession will be useless. In a conversation with Srila Prabhupada in 1969, the popular musician John Lennon said, if the mantras are just the name of God, it doesn't really make much difference, does it, which one you sing? In the course of reply, Srila Prabhupada said, a mantra should be captured from the disciple succession. According to Vedic injunctions, Sampradaya Vihinaye Mantraste Nisfalamata. If the mantra does not come through disciple succession, then it will not be active. Vifala mantras te vifala. Vifala means will not produce result. Mantras te vifalamata. So mantra has to receive through the channel, then it will act. Mantra cannot be manufactured. Mantra must be from the original Supreme Personality coming through disciple succession channel. It has to be captured in this way. Then it will act. Sampradaya Vihinaye Mantraste Nisfalamata. So that's the way of receiving knowledge, only through parampara. But that also can be confusing because there are so many paramparas, isn't it? I got to know that in Vrindavan, there are 180 groups that they worship Radha Krishna, 180 groups. So if you don't know ISKCON, you could go to any of these groups and you think, okay, it's all the same. Like John Lennon is saying, you can chant any mantra, whatever. But we know that there are 4 bona fide sampradaya. Which one are they? Rudra Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and Brahma Sampradaya. Yeah, we are in this Brahma Sampradaya. So unless we receive the mantra through one of these bona fide Sampradayas, the mantra is useless. Even though the words are there, like it's just the alphabet. It's just the alphabet. They have no potency. And Prabhupada said that this is a channel. When the wire is connected to the powerhouse, then the wire got the potency to illuminate. So in the same way, when the mantra is connected to the powerhouse of the parampara, then you got the potency. In our case, we are very lucky because we have received this mantra, the Maha Mantra, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the disciple succession, and after that, through Srila Prabhupada. And then we know that our process is not speculative, is not a concoction, is a bona fide process. And then by practicing this chanting of the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, we can understand the deep topics of spiritual life. But unless one is connected to the spiritual master in this parampara, there is no possibility for a proper understanding. And we see that there is so much confusion in this world. Even in the spiritual life, there is so much confusion. There is so much confusion. So we need to learn how to discriminate. And Prabhupada often they said, like, if you follow blindly, then you will not be able to understand. You need to be open-minded. And there is a next example I heard from a devotee recently. And he was giving an example that, let's say, we believe that everything that is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam is real and is bona fide. But there are things in the Srimad Bhagavatam which are false. And that may make you raise your eyebrows. What do you mean? Everything in the Srimad Bhagavatam is bona fide. But we have, for instance, the prayers of Hiranyakashipu to Brahma, in which Hiranyakashipu said to Brahma, "You are the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the supreme controller. You are the supreme everything." Is that false or true? Sorry? I didn't get. Yeah, but is false or true? Is it false or true? Is Brahma the supreme personality of God? You don't know that? So it's false. Even though it's a Srimad Bhagavatam, that information is false. That's why devotees should know how to discriminate. We should have open-minded. Otherwise, we have just fanatics that follow blindly without discriminating. So devotees should be like a Hamsa that who can subtract the essence of everything and know how to discriminate. Otherwise, anyone can come and say any kind of nonsense, and we believe because he looks like a devotee. So we can become confused. So we need to be broad-minded, and we need to understand ourselves so we can discriminate and we see what is bona fide and what is not bona fide. I remember we had one personality who came to our temple one time in South America. And he said something we never heard before. He said that if you offer food to Krishna with devotion, Krishna will accept it. But if you offer without devotion, Bali Maharaj will accept it. So in either case is fine, because Bali Maharaj is a devotee. So if you offer with devotion, it's fine. If you offer food without devotion, it's also fine, because Bali Maharaj will accept it. At that time, I was a very new devotee. We were all bhaktas, and this was a big personality. So we didn't question anything, but we were thinking, how is it possible? And he went further to say that if you're in a hurry, you don't need to offer your food. You just give the food to the devotees. You keep the plate in the kitchen somewhere, and then you offer afterwards. Very practical, isn't it? So, and then when GBC came and we explained, Maharaj said that we can no need to offer with devotion. Bali Maharaj will accept it, and we don't need to offer and then give to devotees. We can do the other way around, and all will be fine. And of course, he got the source. This by the GBC. They said this is not bona fide. This is not how Prabhupada taught us. So this is the importance of the parampara, that we follow things as it is through the disciple succession, without speculating, without creating our mantras, without creating things that they are not bona fide. And this is the beauty of following Srila Prabhupada, that we know everything Prabhupada said is true, is bona fide, is in disciple succession, is meant for deliver us from the material existence and from all the troubles. So we just need to chant Hare Krishna, follow Srila Prabhupada, follow books of Srila Prabhupada, and then we are on the safe boat. And we know that this is one need to be done, and there is no doubt. And we are free from doubt, free from fear, free from any contamination of material nature. And it doesn't get better than that. Is there any questions? Well, yes, Prabhu.
Twice the word captured was used in regards to the mantra that you were reading out from.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting, an interesting kind of phrase. I wondered if you could explain it further, because I know people could be chanting, but captured kind of makes it sound like you may or you may not actually get the mantra.
You may not capture the mantra.
You may say it.
Okay, I will read again.
Because it came up in the Japa Sangams tonight about the speed that we chant.
Mhm.
Although generally if you're chanting legally and intensely, the speed does go up. Generally to get the mantra, you have to be chanting faster than the mind.
Yeah.
The mind will just keep it quiet and you're chanting.
Your mantra should be captured from the disciple succession. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm not 100% sure what they use the word capture.
It suggests that you may not, because capturing something is an easy thing with regards to get data, you've got to capture, maybe in the field, maybe data, you may not necessarily come back to the field.
Mm. Yeah. Yes, Ananda Birha.
Is that confusion if you look at it like Srimad Bhagavatam, we see throughout the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam and devotees, and plus understand it is a spotless Quran. And in here, is it like then certain things in Srimad Bhagavatam are false, like Hiranyakashipu saying do not command or the second person is false. So is it like certain things in Srimad Bhagavatam are true and certain things are false, and the devotee he should have this capacity like a Hamsa to discriminate what is false, what is true.
Everything is real in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything. The thing, what was false was the understanding of Hiranyakashipu. But if you are a blind follower and you just read the Srimad Bhagavatam, you say, "Oh no, okay." You just read the prayers of Hiranyakashipu. You think, "Okay, he's praising Brahma as the supreme, so he must be the supreme." So we should have the discrimination to understand that who is praying. Oh, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu didn't have the proper understanding because he was not a devotee. So everything what is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam is pure and perfect. But within this, there is a room also for more deeper understanding the who is talking, and we see also when Ravana preaches, he says so many things which are true, but there are certain things that they are not exactly in accordance to the parampara, and which there are many times when demons they say prayers. We should have the understanding that okay, this person is not a pure devotee, so whatever he said we cannot take literally, because there can be some misunderstandings or some confusion. But this is it's just because this particular personality is not praying correctly or saying things which are false. It doesn't mean that the Srimad Bhagavatam is false. It's just this particular person. That's why we need to discriminate, and we need to have the intelligence to discriminate who is saying what. Yes, bro.
Also contextually, because sometimes we can't go for it was all close to Prabhupada saying it was okay to have the success in marriage. And so when he showed it to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, you use my books for this. So the statements by Hari Kashmir, we take them contextually. Eventually you get to rip to Prabhupada about the same thing. So that's what happens if you go down that road. And then in the Bhagavad Gita, they say the soul is real, God in control. They say it produces sex examples and because of everything else. So you can just take that statement and say, oh, but contextually, that's just illustrating this is the wrong philosophy.
Mm.
And you'll get rid of that if you follow that. So you take it contextually.
Yeah.
And then different demigods get praised, demigods defeated, their Shiva gets defeated, the Brahma gets defeated, Indra gets defeated. So, somebody the other day was, I was seeing kind of the husband, was trying to husband and she wanted just to check that out. So he was into Shiva. So this Southbound state, just the next day, it says, Ravana must have watched for Shiva. And probably he came up against Southbound Shiva, but Shiva couldn't attack him.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the outcome. Okay, well, that's what happens if you watch for Shiva, you're very, very powerful. But you will get to
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, we need to be careful when we take things out of context. Like when Prabhupada, this disciple of Prabhupada went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, can I divorce and get married again? And Prabhupada said, yes, that's fine. And then we may say, oh, but why Prabhupada is encouraging divorce? And that's not the case at all. The thing is, Prabhupada understood that if I tell him not to get married, if I tell him not to get divorced and get married again, he will do it anyway. So that will not only be bad, but also he will get more reaction for disobeying the order of a spiritual master. So in this way, at least diminish the reaction that he will get. But if you just take it from outside, you think, oh, Prabhupada is encouraging divorce, Prabhupada, but it's not the case. Prabhupada encouraged just the opposite. But we need to have discrimination and be broad-minded to see the essence and the intentions, just not to be confused. Yeah, Kartik.
So you were mentioning the conversation between John Lennon and Prabhupada. John Lennon asking if he chant like holiness of God, and then Prabhupada said if it's not in Parampara, it's not bona fide. But when we reach Shashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Namna Makari Bhagavan Nijat Sarvashakti Siddharapita, that O Lord Krishna, you have put all the powers in holy name and it could be chanted any time without any rules. So how do they understand? Because my understanding was the holy name is pure. Whoever chants the holy name of the Lord, they get all the benefits out of it. Right?
Yeah.
Not the same.
Because there are different benefits of chanting the holy name. The ultimate benefit of chanting the holy name is to develop love for Krishna. But it doesn't mean that if you chant other names, which are even not in parampara, you will not get some spiritual benefit. Some benefit will be there. Like people who chant, when they ask Mahaprabhu, what to do with the Muslims? The Muslims, they are so sinful. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't worry about the Muslim, because when they leave the body, they say, oh haram, that they chanted unconsciously the name of Ram. So they will get some spiritual benefit, even though it's not through the parampara. So people, when they say words that they have a holy name in it, like say panorama. In Spanish, we have rama, the branches. In Spanish, when you have a branch of a tree, we call it rama. So the spiritual some spiritual benefit will be there, but you will not get love of Godhead by chanting those names which are not connected to the parampara. But some benefit will be there, and this is the mercy of Krishna that allow people to gradually advance, even by chanting other names which are not the Mahamantra or mantras we know.
It comes back to the original question about being captured.
Mm.
You could just casually come along and say some mantra, but to capture the
Yeah.
mantras to continue,
Yeah.
that would mean that you have to be making the endeavor to capture something.
Yeah.
Just casually capture that with everything going on about. That's none of us, actually. None of us is
Yeah. Yeah.
doing everything. You're not doing everything, and it's none of that. If you're not really trying, you're trying to something you can, none of us.
Yeah, Sudanam is only possible when you are in a parampara. Otherwise, it's just chanted with offenses. Okay, I think we went a bit over time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.